Comic book lovers and pop culture fans are packing the Pensacola Bay Center for the first day of Pensacon. The arena is filled with fans, some cosplaying as their favorite characters. Your 7-day forecast is just ahead. First, let's count down another 5 things you need to know this morning. Number 5, Pope Francis is back in the hospital. Number 4, the Eagles will celebrate their Super Bowl win today in Philadelphia. Alabama lawmakers are also tackling illegal immigration. The Senate has passed 3 bills establishing new crimes and requirements for people in the U.S. illegally. Family and friends gathered today to raise money in memory of a Baldwin County teacher who died in 2021. Joins us with sports, and Gerhardt, big basketball weekend.
That's exactly right.
Just in time for Valentine's Day, 103 couples say I do at a mass wedding, and we're invited when we come back. Yeah, that's right, Pete. I actually got to take a ride in it myself and see all the bells and whistles. But the city says this purchase is all in an effort to invest in public safety. Residents in this Gulf Breeze neighborhood say unwanted guests have made themselves a little too comfortable in their community.
That's right, Devin. We actually are just kicking off now. We have set up shop here with our new friends. They got out here at 5 a.m. this morning to get ready. We're here in downtown Pensacola where this snow is really coming down. It's really accumulated over the last couple hours or so. Chad, what we're seeing is a massive tree toppled onto a home in Mobile. Thankfully, no one was injured, but I'm gonna flip this camera around so you guys can take a look at what we're seeing. Well, Pete, Pensacola police say the driver of that vehicle had a medical emergency and crashed here into the backyard of the home and into the home here on 12th Avenue. The story of how the Lady Catherine sailboat got to Pensacola Beach began May 30th, hundreds of miles away. Michael Barlow and his friend left Key West, making their way to Texas when they ran into trouble.
The storms were way bigger than we anticipated, and we lost our head sail, lost our motor, lost the autopilot.
On June 1st, the U.S. Coast Guard received a report of a disabled sailboat about 200 miles south of Panama City. The Coast Guard got in touch with the men on board, and this video from a Coast Guard helicopter shows what happened next. A rescue team found the men and lowered a basket to them, lifting them safely to the helicopter, which then flew them to Panama City.
That was like a movie. It's awesome. The U.S. Coast Guard, they're just fantastic, top shelf all the way around. They're good at what they do, and they're there for us, no question.
But the boat was left behind.
The last thing you want to do is leave your vessel, but in the situation, there's no help. There's no one even within range to answer your radio, so there's no help.
Weeks later, the sailboat sits on Pensacola Beach with its sail ripped to shreds. Barlow says he's in the midst of making plans to get his boat off the beach as soon as possible. The boat has been attracting curious beachgoers near Avenida 17. People have been walking up and taking photos of the boat, now surrounded by caution tape. We spoke to one woman who says she was there when the boat washed ashore Tuesday night. She shared this video with us of the boat battling the Gulf waters.
It just was getting closer and closer, and once it caught the waves, it came in pretty quickly. I can't believe it's still there, but I couldn't believe watching it come in. So something I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Barlow says he's grateful for the support he's received from people in Pensacola, opening their homes to him and watching out for his boat as he figures out his next steps. Reporting on Pensacola Beach, Alexa Daly, WKRG News 5. Brandy Fitzsimmons is telling a story she wishes she had told sooner.
I don't care about hiding anymore. I don't care about being embarrassed anymore.
Fitzsimmons filed a complaint against Dr. Ben Brown with the Florida Department of Health in December after learning about his wife's death in November. The medical examiner's office ruled Brown died from lidocaine toxicity during a procedure done by her husband. Fitzsimmons says the news of Brown's passing broke her heart.
Ultimately, she was putting her trust in her surgeon, which happened to be her husband, and it could have happened to any of us.
Fitzsimmons' experience with Dr. Brown at Restore Plastic Surgery began in 2021. After a consultation, Fitzsimmons went to Baptist Hospital to receive liposuction, abdominoplasty, fat injections to her hips, and a breast implant replacement by Dr. Brown. What came next were multiple follow-ups to Dr. Brown's office in Gulf Breeze. According to the Department of Health's report, Fitzsimmons went back to Brown's office to receive scar revision surgery by one of his physicians. Fitzsimmons described that surgery as pure torture. The report stated there were several issues with sterility during those follow-ups. Medical records also revealed Dr. Brown performed a gluteal fat transfer, also known as a Brazilian butt lift, on Fitzsimmons. She says she told him multiple times she did not want that procedure.
You feel violated. I mean, just the thought of, you vision yourself being sedated on an operating table and you've consented to certain things, and he just takes it upon himself to do a procedure.
In May, after reviewing the cases of Fitzsimmons, Hillary Brown, and another patient, the Department of Health ordered an emergency restriction of Dr. Brown's license. Now, Fitzsimmons wants to see justice.
I want him locked up.
And her message to anyone looking to undergo plastic surgery procedures:
join groups that are on social media for plastic surgery procedures. You know, ask questions in those groups, call an attorney, get advice, go to multiple surgeons to get a feel for them.
Reporting in Gulf Breeze, Alexa Daly, WKRG News 5.
He's always been very sweet.
Becky and Benny Lunsford's love story began decades ago. The Pensacola natives met in elementary school. They became boyfriend and girlfriend during middle school and were together all the way through college before going their separate ways.
When I say we grew up together, we really did.
But after a chance encounter about 25 years later, they reconnected and eventually rekindled their romance.
I don't think we ever stopped carrying each other in our hearts.
Right.
They have now been married for 16 years, and through their blended and extended family, they are parents of 4 and have 11 grandchildren.
I'm Pop.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
You're Pop to everybody.
everybody.
But Becky began noticing changes in Benny. Benny, who worked in the grocery industry, was showing symptoms of cognitive decline.
He was at one of his grocery stores about an hour and a half away, and he didn't know how to get home.
Just like that.
And he was 59.
In 2021, at age 60, Benny was diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment.
When I say our lives changed overnight, they really did.
It did.
In May of 2022, he was formally diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is a progressive brain disease that causes problems with memory, thinking, and behavior.
It's not what a lot of folks think. It's not just our elderly grandparents anymore.
Becky stepped up as a caretaker. She reached out to the Alzheimer's Association, taking advantage of their available resources, and took over the finances. She leaned on a support group and began advocating at the state and national level.
I just want to make sure that I do right by him.
Well, you always have.
Well, and I will continue to do so to the very best of my ability. But you know, the truth is, they say so many times, the caregiver is one that maybe their health suffers. I think more than anything, what's imperative is that you take care of your mental health.
Becky is voicing the importance of early detection of the disease and raising any concerns with a doctor immediately.
I think a lot about if I had said something that 9 months earlier or that year earlier, would we have had more success with maybe some preventive or, you know, earlier diagnosis is just so important. There's so much now that they can do if you're diagnosed earlier.
Even as they navigate this devastating disease, their love remains stronger than ever.
She's my own life.
We've endured a lot, but we will continue to endure whatever we need to and still just pour a lot of love into every day.
In Pensacola, Alexa Daly, WKRG News 5.